Well-being is the most important key because, you know, at the end of the day, we can't perform if we are not feeling fulfilled, if we are tired and stressed out, and if we are completely out of balance. And many of us, as part of the human journey, where the pursuit of happiness doesn't look like a vertical curve, it is, or vertical trajectory, it is up and down. And when we explore that journey as human beings, we start to experiment with what does balance look like. And many of us have swung as strivers and drivers and provers and type A's and entrepreneurs. We have visions and we drive ourselves, and we can drive ourselves to a point of too much stress. So that idea of where the stretch becomes the stress is so critical for us in our society right now, because the pace of life has sped up. The need to wear multiple hats has increased. The ability to multitask through technology and devices has been very seductive, and it's taken us away of being present with each other, and most importantly, present with ourselves. But what we've learned by walking this on our own paths is that if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't experiment and find a way to nourish, to reset, to be present, to breathe open space, to get in nature, whatever the tool or practice is, then we become depleted. And so it's really relevant in the nonprofit sector and in any sector, quite honestly, is that we can't give what we don't have, right? So it's such a cliche to say, fill your own cup first. And we are both trying to practice what this looks like. We don't claim to have the answers necessarily for others, but we certainly can share to say, you know what, it's most important when we create space for ourselves, when we can really be present with another human being and deeply listen and connect to them and ourselves. Retention increases, memory increases, insights channel, performance increases. So there is truly a quantifiable factor, not only in happiness and fulfillment, but in growth when we take care of being well. You know, well-being, it's literally being. It's being ourselves. It's not well-doing, right? And that's important. But I think we're all learning how to undo the doing, right? So that we can really find space to be not only ourselves, but to literally be with nothing on our plates to help nourish our minds, our hearts, and our bodies.
Yeah, that was a wonderful answer, and I love that you talked about presence. You know, at the end of the day, this insight was transformative, I know, for me. The biggest pay you get from anything, from your job, from your venture, is fulfillment now. You know, the one thing that you're trading that you can't get back is time. And sooner or later, everyone has an experience, wanted or unwanted, that shows them that. I guess I was fortunate in that I lost my mom when I was 29. And that was when I realized that lesson, or started to realize it. So you start to then see how we've normalized ourselves to a way of being that physiologically was meant to alert us when we're in danger. That feeling of being anxious and stressed that many of us carry all day long, all week long, is actually engineered, biologically to tell you to run away or to put up and fight. When you start to realize that, you start to say, okay, you pair that with the first learning that the only thing I have is my time. Is this how I want to spend that finite time? A really simple tool that we use for people is when you feel like you most do not have time to take a break, take a break. When you feel like you're so stressed out that you can't possibly step back, step back. Walk around the block for 5 minutes and see how different you feel. Just that consciousness, just that little bit of distance from the current experience, which seems so real and so overpowering, is enough to make you say, this is just all, this isn't as important as I'm making it. There's a lot more to that, but you have to come to Lantern in Park City to experience it.